Here we are, door number 11. All right, let's see what we have. Let's see, door number 11. Let's see, there's 12, 4, 5. Oh, there it is, it's up here. Here's the tab. There it is. All right. Kind of a smaller door. It is a stamp and a die. Oh. So it's a bow and a die. Let's see what we're going to do. So let's see here. So we have our stamp. Look at it better without the paper on it. That's pretty. So this is, let's see how big it's going to be when it cuts. This is just shy of 1.5 inches. All right, so let's try something here. I've never done this with a stamp this small before, but let's try it. So I have a 5x7 tent fold card. I also pulled a wreath. I have some white card. Not sure how much of that I'm going to use. I have some gems. I have a stamp set. I have the small paper for the night before Christmas, the solid paper from the night before Christmas, and the big pad. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. I have some dark reds and alpine green markers and a black ink pad. All right. I am going to try some partial die cutting. So what we're going to do is, first thing, grab a pencil. We need to find the middle of the card. So 5 inches, halfway is 2.5. So let's mark 2.5. And I'll mark it down here too. All right, so we're going to take our die. I'm thinking if we cut it 3 times along the front, I think that would be good. So this die is symmetrical. So that right there is the middle. Let me grab some tape. Line the bottom of the die up at the bottom of the card because we don't want the front to get shorter. We're going to put this on. And what we're going to do when we put it in the folder, right, let's draw a second line here. Let me turn it sideways. So we're going to find a second line here, which is going to be about halfway down the die. So we have to decide how much of this we want to have hanging off in the die cut. So if this is what the stamp is going to look like, I'm thinking right about there, where the middle of the knot is. I think the knot is a good spot. So we're going to draw a line here. Because that's where we're going to put the edge of our thing here. All right. Let's see. I want to put it. So I want to cut this way. So I am going to lay the line on the edge of our folder. Oh, that folder is very crooked. Oh, the other one's crooked too. I'll have to tape it in place. All right, so we're going to line this up here, put some more tape. So this is lined up here with the edge, because we don't want this to move. Now, since this is crooked, I can't believe how crooked this is. I am going to push this straight. Just put a piece of tape on there so it stays straight. Now I'm going to run this through the the MIDI. And actually, I will pull the MIDI in so you can see exactly what I'm going to do here. Push this out of the way. My MIDI. All right. So I can pull this all the way through. Actually, we're going to leave that there so it doesn't move. So now the bottom part of our bow is cut. So now I'm going to take the bow, put it on this side, line it up with the bottom. Put more tape on it. Make sure this stayed straight. Close it. Put my tape back on it to keep it straight. Bring the MIDI in. Okay, line that back up. Take the die off. Now we have two cut. So now we will cut the one on this side. So again, we will line it up and move the tape to the other side. Line up the bottom. Put some tape on it. Close it up. Push it straight. And we will run it through. Alright, so now when we pull this off, keep track of that because we're going to need to cut some more out. Tape over here. Now I just need the little scissors. I will snip here. I will snip here. And there. All this is going to be covered, so you won't see if there's any stray lines left. So our card still stands. So we're good. So we just have to decide, do we want it straight like that, or we want to round it? I think I'm going to round this a little bit. There we go. There, so now we have 3 partial die cuts. So now, put this to the side for a moment. Now let's bring in our stamp and the die. So for this, we're going to need 4 copies because I want 1 for the wreath and 3 for the bottom. So let's see, will this fit side by side? 1, 2, yep. So I'm going to fold this paper in half so I can cut 2 out at a time. I'm going to take this, attach it here, a piece of tape, folder. Now I don't care if it's crooked. So now I have 2 die cuts. Need 2 more. All right, so now I need my stamping platform. Now I'm going to use this as a template to stamp this. I really only need the one. I'm going to put this in here. Take my stamp, line it up. It will slide right into the die cut hole. I'm going to pick it up. I have my 4 die cuts. I'll just pile them over here. Take the first one, put it in. Get my ink. No, it wasn't lined up exactly in the center. Let's try that again. Much border. Oh, I see the problem. So I'm looking at my stamp. So my stamp is crooked. The bow is not in the center of the stamp. Look how much bigger I have it over here than over here. Oh, seriously? And that's why it came out crooked. Okay, can't use template. All right. Wow, I cannot believe how crooked that stamp is. Normally, you can just put it in where the die cut is and it will center it for you. But this stamp is crooked. So when you go to stamp yours, be careful of that. See if yours is crooked too and let me know. I'm curious if it's just mine that's crooked or if everybody's is crooked. There we go. See? All right, so now we need to color these in. Let me trim this first. Yeah, that's better. All right, I'll keep the one that's trimmed up there. All right, so now we're going to color. All right, so this is going to be colored red. Now I have DR1 here because I know my DR1 here is very dry and I'm still waiting for my red to come in. So I'm going to start coloring this in. All right, now what I was thinking, so I'm going to go with DR4. And if you look on here, there is a line where it looks like there's a trim. So everywhere where there's that trim, I am going to go over with a very dark red. Alright, so let me bring in our card so you can see what I'm doing here. So this then is going to get glued onto here. Alright, so let's do the second one. Alright, let me look at the first one. See, I'm not seeing that much of a difference with using DR4. Let me grab a darker red. Let's see. Oh, that's definitely darker. So this is DR7. This is one of those times I wish I had an illustrator because it has a smaller nib on it than the Classiques. You can see the difference. How much smaller it is. It's a much thinner nib. Now let me go back over this. Since I did 2 coats on the first one, I'm going to need to do 2 coats on all of them. Alright, well now that one dries. Let me glue these 2 in place. There. Grab my glue. So now we just line up the bottom. The rest will fall into place. Yep, that's good. Let's see, here's the other one. Oh wait, let's check something here. Yep. I'm gonna put this one on this side. Just in the off chance I did not leave enough space there. Because I kind of eyeballed where to put them and I can see it's off just a little bit here. Alright, so now this has had a chance to dry a little bit. So I'm going to go over this again. And you can see the difference. Got another little boo-boo. thought there for a second maybe I would just pop up the middle one, but I think I'll leave them all flat. Now you can see where I probably should have measured the two on the outside, but I kind of eyeballed it, so it is off. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch over here. But so now we have a die cut bottom. So now we have to decide what we're going to do with the tops. All right, so the wreath will go here. And let's see what will fit here. Okay, Merry Christmas will fit. We'll do Joy to the World to Noel. All right, so now we need to decide how big we want to make this. So if I used a little pad of paper, let's see. That might be too distracting with the wreath. I think this might be better. Because we're still going to have to cut this down, so we would lose this. So I don't want to use that. This might work. If it doesn't, we can use the back side. All right, so this card is 5 by 7. And our wreaths, to the top of our wreaths, we want to leave. All right, so that's the top of our wreath. So if we go 1/4 inch, that's 1 inch to 1/2, 1/4 inch up from the wreaths. So that would bring this to here. So that brings this to, let's call it 5 1/2. So we want 5 1/4. So we want 5 1/4. And then the card is 5, so 4 3/4. So that's what we want to cut. All right, let's move some of this out of the way. All right, so I want to keep the bird, so I'm going to cut this upside down. So we're going to cut it 4 3/4 first. So there's 4 3. All right, so this will sit here like this. And then we will have a white paper. Let's see how big this wreath is. This wreath is 3 1/2. All right. So let's see here. So this is in the center. And then our Joy to the World can be down here. All right, I'm going to take the wreath off and stamp this without the wreath, because I think it's interfering with the H. Yep. Okay, so even though these are both Crafter's Companion stamps, they are not the same height. There we go. Yep, not the same height. All right, so right, I just got ink all over that. Oh, better. All right. All right, so now this will be on here. And this will be on here. Question is, do we want another layer in there to trim this? And I think I do. So I think I'm going to take a little bit off of this. I'm thinking the gold. All right, so now what we have left to do is to color the wreath and to color our bow. So let's color the bow first. Going to take the DR7 again and go over the trim on the bow. All right, we'll let that dry a minute while we work on the wreath. So let's bring in the green that I have here. All right, I'm going to do these other little pieces in a lighter green. All right, so the flowers, I will do red. let's see. So our bow, let's go over our bow a little bit more. And you can just see from these that have had a chance to dry how much darker that red looks when you go over it a second time. All right, so let's see what we have now. So this will be glued on here. Question is, do I want to take a little metallic ink to this? All right, I'm going to glue this on here. All right, well that went on completely crooked, so I pulled it off. So I cut another piece of paper. Let's try this again. Okay, so then let's bring in our card. So this will go on here, and this will go on here. I think I want to edge this paper. I think I'm going to, I want to do it in black. So let me grab my black ink. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. So now this will get glued to the middle of this. This will get glued to here. Now, the only thing we have left to decide, do we want this down here? We want to put it up top. I think I like it better on the bottom. And do we want it on foam? I think this I want on foam. I'll put this on here. Now for some gems for Christmas, because it's the same colors. Maybe I just want to put red ones in the middle of the flowers. Let's see. One there. I think that's enough. I think I do want to take some sparkle pen. I think that's enough. I think we're good. It's one of these times I think you just have to walk away from the card. All right, so there we have it. So we did partial cutting down here, and then we put a topper here in the top, so we used the bow 4 times. And yeah, so pretty much any die you can do that with. Yeah, so look through your stash and see what you have and give it a try. And you know, you could also cut these coming down the side if you wanted to. You absolutely could. If you wanted to do a regular opening card, you could absolutely put the bows down the side. Yeah, so give it a try. Get out your dies and try some die cutting and partial die cutting and see what happens. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and until tomorrow, stay crafty.